Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition, and Bitcoin has gone pretty much flatlining most of the week since our last Zoom on Monday. Just up and down a couple percents. Not much to look at, but that won't stop me from looking at the chart anyway. So let's check it out. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. I don't have Craig here to tell me that that's what he's seeing. So can someone else let me know if that
Yes.
was what you're seeing? Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. Just going straight across since last Friday. I mean, with this big move here on the 17th, and since then we did go up a little bit, about 5%. Let's see, that was Wednesday. Lost some of that, and then today we've been down most of the day. As you can see over here, it's a red day. All the altcoins are down, with a few exceptions, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum are down a few points as well. So I can't really point to anything in particular. There's been some FUD, some news out there. There was some regulatory threatening going on during the week. The Coinbase thing about their staking. I do a little bit of Coinbase staking. Not that that's financial advice. I just got a small bag of Tezos on there. So I got an email from them saying that might change, but again, no big deal. So Bitcoin didn't plunge, but it did drop a little bit, and that some of that news may have had something to do with it. On Ethereum, again, mostly sideways. It did break over 1800 yesterday and closed above that. So that looked like we were going to get another leg up, but we're dropping today. I don't expect to close over 1800 today, and that closing is coming up soon. So mostly sideways, not too interesting unless I'm missing something. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about regarding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the market overall? Nobody? Do I have a quiet crowd today? All right. Well, what do we
Um,
do now?
Wait, I was talking, my mute was on.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, John.
General question. Looking at this or the last one, the Bitcoin thing, if you didn't know that it was one of the two big gorillas, if it was just a chart that you saw without the knowledge that it was Bitcoin or Ethereum, wouldn't you look at that and think, oh, it's at the top of the Bollinger Band, it took a big jump up, it's likely to go back at least to the middle? Um, oh,
That's a good observation. I've heard that from the CryptNation guys during yesterday, during their call. I heard that from someone else I respect who I can't recall, that they're seeing a retrace down in 24, 25 range. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So yeah, I think you could be onto something there. We'll see.
yeah, I think I found that I look at Bitcoin and then I've got personally I got like more hopium because I want everything to go up.
Yeah.
And but if I covered the corner and didn't know it was Bitcoin, I would go, yeah, that one's like it's due to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just an observation. I'm glad the CryptNation guys um, agreed with me.
Yeah.
So
I think Matt and Pizza Mind were talking about that yesterday. So
yeah, I gotta fix
um,
this. Okay. Well, thanks. That's all I really wanted to
all
say.
right. All right. Good observation. Anybody else care to question or chime in about the near future of Bitcoin and Ethereum? All right. Well, let's get over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some trades for tonight and going into the weekend. Um, I've got the Altcoin Radar clicked and ready to go. There's a couple different sorts that I like to use. I'll start with the AA score. And I'm going to, yeah, when I click this, it's updated. We got Aon, who's been up in the very bullish area most of the week. I'm not sure where you can find it though. I couldn't find it anywhere. Nano is something else that's difficult to find, I believe. Let me check it real quick. Meant to look at that before. Yeah, it's on Kraken and Gate.io, Pancake Swap. These aren't places I like to acquire coins. You know, Pancake Swap is okay, but sometimes the fees are more than I would like. It's BNB based, which can be a place where scams like to linger, so be careful there. So let's not do that one. There was another one I was looking at. I was looking at Link and it was highly rated, but it looks like it dropped a bit. So, shoot, how far down did it go? Maybe it was a different sort. We'll try Tron. This is unusually high post for Tron. It doesn't move that much. It's been my experience. We'll check it out. Okay, on the 5-minute chart, it's bounced off this support right here, right around, say 6.3 cents. So this could be a place to do a price alert if you want to catch it on a drop. Right click right here. That's not right. Add alert. And that's our AA score purchase, and you're good to go on your price alert. That's really the only one I see. You could go back here on Thursday, and there's some more support right around 6.2 cents. I think I'd go with this one if I were going that route. But as you know, I prefer indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart. Well, let's go there. Okay, we're on the 15-minute chart, and there's a couple approaches I like to take. One of them is using the super trend. The trend is your friend. And so I'll click that one on. And super trend worked really well. The last three triggers of the candle or of the indicator did really well. If you're, 14% here on the short side, on the long side, 8%, and here, almost 3%. So these are all really good day trades. I probably wouldn't have stayed in any of them, more than 2 or 3%. So one thing about, if you're going to go with the super trend on the 15-minute chart, like I talk about a lot, there aren't going to be a whole lot of triggers. There aren't a whole lot of signals going off, alerts. So what I've been doing lately is using more frequent alerts like the divergence, which I'll talk about next. And then in the afternoon and the evening, I'll turn those off and go with with the super trend, just trying to catch maybe 1 or 2 more trades for the day. So, and what I like about super trend is one of the things I like is it's very alert friendly. Right click on there, you can go, if you're trading spot, you go with the buy. If you're bearish and you want to just catch shorts, you can go with the sell. And then here's what I like to do, the direction change. So each time it goes from short to long, it'll, that alert will go off and you'll be good to go. Once per bar close and AA score. I might just go ahead and take this one. So that's how you do that alert. When it actually triggers, I will usually look at some of these other indicators for confirmation. Like on this one here, on this buy alert, we got the blue line crossing over on the stochastic RSI and the blue line heading up pretty strong, and the histogram pumping up too on the this is the MACD, the impulse MACD. So those are all go signals. Though the stochastic RSI can be kind of touchy. So that's how I would handle the super trend alert. Now divergence tends to go off a lot more. So, and it's also a contrarian approach. And divergence is the difference between the price action and the indicators. So you might have an indicator going, on bearish divergence, you have the indicator going down and the price action going up. So I think I said that right. Sometimes I get them confused when I talk about them, but anyway, and I've got 2 divergence indicators that I use. Divergence from any indicators version 4 I like a lot because it's alert friendly, but it does repaint, which means if it gets new information, it'll turn this one off and put it somewhere else. So that kind of messes up back testing. And to overcome that, I go with this non-repaint one by Peter O. And those are those that go off here with single digits. So if this, say, CCI goes off and I see that the non-repaint one's gone off already, then I'm more inclined to take that one than if it doesn't have that information. And it's real easy to set an alert. Right click on it. And it goes to the negative first, change to positive, and set both alerts if you want to trade both directions like I just showed you on the SuperTrend. It would be nice if they had a change direction, but they don't have that option on this. And let's see, how did these do? Most of these went down pretty small. Like I said, generally speaking, Tron doesn't move a lot. There's a 1% move. If I'm shorting something, it's usually going to be, I'm looking for a 1% move on 10x leverage. So it's 10% profit. It's a really good day trade. This one did not, went against me at first and eventually came back down. So yeah, all these would have worked out okay on the bearish side. But here's a bad one. Nothing's perfect. So this bullish one goes off, and maybe you get almost 1%, but then crash city. Probably would have ladder bought in here, done a couple additional purchases, and held on. Probably gotten out about here. So okay, so that's divergence. And then stochastic RSI, this one can go off a lot too. So I haven't been using it as much, but it can be effective to get some good entries. Let's start right about here. What we want is this blue line on bullish positions to be above the orange line, dipping below the 20 value, which is the oversold area, and then coming back up. And these can lead to pretty good entries. But it doesn't here. The first one's not good. But the second one is excellent. After the dip, it crosses again and can catch this big move. So, and our next cross is right about here. That's a pretty good move. And next one's here. Again, that's a good move. And you get the idea. All these are pretty good moves until they aren't. Let's get one that isn't a good move, like here. Well, even that one went up a little bit.
CJ, you mentioned that you buy again once or twice. Do you buy the same amounts each time when you buy again if it drops?
Yes. Yes. Tom's talking about a ladder buy or dollar cost average entry, additional purchase, whatever you want to call it. And let's say, since we have this up, let's say I took this buy here, even though the MACD would have discouraged it, but the RSI is obviously coming up and it goes against me. And I get stuck in this huge drop. Now the market has been overall trending up this calendar year, despite the exchange John and I had earlier that could be dropping to the SMA line of the day chart in the 24-25 range. But So a lot of my longs I've been ladder buying, doing additional purchases. On my shorts, I've been less inclined to do that. But so I try to keep the general direction of the market in mind, when I contemplate whether to make additional purchases. In this situation, this coin dropped 14% in an hour and a half. So had I been on leverage, I probably would have bought twice in there. So I would have tripled my position, but as Tom asked, it's the same amount each time. I do have something I'm working on that increases each time, but that's new for me. I haven't done it that way in the past. For record keeping and things like that, I usually do the same amount as my initial purchase. But let's say I have 3 positions here. Well, by the time it gets up, it has to go less than halfway that loss. I'd probably break even right around here, around the 7% area. And I like to hold most of my ladder buys until they get at or near the first position. So in this scenario, had I done that, my first position would have broken even, and my second position would have been up, probably 5% or more, and then my third position would have been up 10% or more. So overall, that's a really good day trade, and that happens in a little over a day. So it's actually more money, but can be risky if it keeps dropping and you got a lot of money tied up in a position that's going nowhere. So you gotta figure out how you want to trade and what the market's doing, generally speaking. Okay, I also have separate videos on ladder buying. I did a video for nearly every strategy I do back in 2021, before I started doing these Zoom calls. So if you want to get a better idea of those strategies, you may want to look those up. Okay, any questions on Tron before we look at another coin?
No, and thanks. I was stuck in traffic. I'm here now.
Peter's in the house. All right, good to have you. Okay, let's see what else we've got. So that was the AA sort. And again, to review, what AA is saying is there's a 79.4% chance that Tron will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. For me, I'm just looking for something that's moving, and then I do my own analysis. So that's how I like to use AA. Okay, so that was an AA score. John reminded me of the long lost social activity sort. So I actually used that today, and I was trading OMG, did pretty well with it. I was looking at this pre-search coins, up 46% today. Wow.
Pre-search has been on a roll for about a week.
Yeah. I noticed that. I was looking at the chart. This is the 5-minute, and this is the big pump we had today. And if we go to, say, an hour chart, yeah, this has been moving up since Monday. Yeah, over 100%, gave a lot of it back, but still up over 80% in a week, less than a week. That's amazing. So do you want to trade something like this? That's the thing. On the 5-minute, something like this, you could go with a squeeze trade. It's starting to come together, but it's bouncing off the SMA line. Sometimes this is a good place to get in when the market's pumping. You don't have to wait for 1, 2, 3 dips. You can trade the squeeze. That's an amazing move. This is something you trade on I've got the KuCoin chart up there, so probably a spot trade, but man, 8% spot trade, that's awesome. So, it's already come down to where the primary support, or the first support is. Then there's some more support again down here around, say, 9 cents. And then down here around 7.5 cents. So that's where I would put price alerts if you want to go that route to try to get a good entry. Even though this looks like a pretty good entry now to me, not financial advice, but you might want to check this one out. On my 15-minute indicator alerts, SuperTrend did really well. This short, well, I don't think you can short this anyway. So, this buy alert, yeah, well, all the buys obviously did well on this. And that one shot up like crazy. But again, those don't trigger as often. If you want to trade pullbacks on the trend, divergence is a good way to do that. You could have caught this one, 3% there. Then, that really big move here. You just ignore this is one where you just set, if you're spot trading, you're just going to set this one on positive. Positive divergence detected once per bar close. And this is our, what do we call this one again? Social activity. Right.
I know where it is on the screen. I don't remember.
I know, I can't remember the name every time. I did this on Monday too.
But it points you to those other two columns. Is the elder impulse and the hourly.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so that's how I would do that one. All right, so that's divergence. And again, even a more sensitive, meaning more frequent triggers are going to be a stochastic RSI. And since this big move happened, all these entries are going to be okay. So but will this last one, say this one crosses up, will that be a good place to get in? Not sure. Okay, any questions on pre-search? Okay, another sort I like to use, John mentioned it, is the long-term sentiment matched up with the elder impulse daily. Now, Josh of the TIE, which is the data company that supplies the information for Altcoin Alert, especially the Twitter information. We had a Zoom, one of the Tuesday night Zoom or Tuesday afternoon Zooms, and he stated, and this was probably a year and a half ago or so, that the long-term sentiment scores were doing really well consistently, and that caught my attention. So that became my secondary sort on Altcoin Alert. I have the AA score as my primary, and then the long-term sentiment matched up with the elder impulse daily. When these two were both bullish, those coins were doing very well. So I kind of got away from the social activity and the trading sorts, but I've gotten back to them lately. But this is still a good one. So you can sort it either direction. And when I get bullish or very bullish, and then bullish on elder impulse daily, I should tell you what these are. Sentiment is the Twitter data, what people are talking about. You can hover over this question mark and get a better, read that paragraph if you want. Then elder impulse is a technical indicator or combination of them. And so when these two align, this is something I want to look at closely. We looked at pre-search already. Another one here is BNB. So it's bullish on the sentiment and bullish on the elder impulse daily. That's probably worth a look. BNB is kind of like Tron though, doesn't usually move that much compared to other altcoins. You'll find that generally speaking with some of the older ones. Okay, on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, I don't see a really good entry point here at the moment. If we had something like this where it squeezes it in bubbles, 1, 2, 3, actually a 4 dipper, I probably would have gotten in here on the 1, 2, 3 dip approach. And then, eventually caught this up, 1% move, not bad. So, but we don't have an entry like that at the moment. Seeing support down here between about 317, 318 area. Could be a place to get in. We're not that far from that at 321 now. So that could be a place for a price alert. On 15-minute indicators, SuperTrend looks pretty good. The buy is pumped up. Yeah, 2.4%. That's a good move for BNB. You know, this sell, it's about 0.5% before spiking up. Probably not enough to trigger a ladder buy, so I probably would have been in this one for a while. Maybe say 1.5% or so would have been my exit on 10x leverage. And this takes me a little over a day, so not bad on that one. And obviously this would have been the better one here. So that's SuperTrend on Divergence. Some of these did pretty well. This long one did well. This one did really well. And the bearish ones did okay as well. Yeah, 1% there, probably a couple percent on this one. This one was a stinker. Yeah, less than 1% on that. You'd still be in that trade. This Divergence looks pretty good. Been trading more of that this week. And then on the RSI, that's a nice long position. That goes against you and then goes long, so that looks pretty good. This one is no good, and the rest of these long positions are not very good. So I don't know if I'd like this one for this setup. I might go with the super trend on this one. Okay, any questions on BNB?
CJ, you just mentioned that a trigger for a ladder buy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a specific percentage, or is it change depending on the coin?
There's two ways I do that. One is a percentage, usually around 5% on leverage, because sometimes at 6 or 7% you'll get liquidated on Bybit, which is really annoying. I mean, it should let us go down to 9 or 10%, but they want to make sure you have the money in your account so they can take it if you're wrong on this. So, it's a bit risky. If you're new to trading on leverage, you should probably be at 5x or less. I like to get little 0.5%, 1%. So I treat shorts more like scalping. So that's why I do it that way. And then another thing is to look at support and resistance. So let's go back to say super trend. Yeah, let's say let's use a long entry. Yeah, here's a good example. So let's say you get in on this one. It goes up 0.89%, but you're looking for maybe 1 or 2%, and then you drop and drop. So in this vicinity, you want to do a ladder buy. And that I'll sometimes, if I don't see it right away, I'll look at my my longer term charts, say a 30-minute chart. I'll look for support. So this was my buy area. So support's down right about here. I'll draw a horizontal line to show you that. So I'm seeing support right about here. So the buy is here. And then maybe it drops down to here. And I get in, and then it goes back up again, and I'm good. But at 2%, that's probably not the one I would have used. And I don't really see good at, try maybe look at the hour chart. Yeah, it might have come down here more. Yeah. If I'm on lower leverage, I'll be more precise. If I'm on a higher leverage, I'll go with just 5%. But say you're at maybe 2 or 3x leverage, you might want to wait for it to come down here, because that's where there's some support. Does that help you?
Yep, yeah, thank you,
All right.
CJ.
Okay, let's do one more. Okay, that was BNB. And sometimes I'll just sort, if I can't find what I'm looking for in those sorts that we just went through. Well, actually, I should go through this one here. 1 hour. This is for scalping. What's the coin going to do in the next hour or so? And if I see values usually 4 or 5% or better in this average area, that'll catch my attention. But I'm not seeing any of that right now. And where do you look to pre-search? So that's another one I've been using more frequently. And then finally, the 24-hour change. And this isn't specific to Altcoin Alert. You can find this in a lot of free services as well. You know, if you don't want to pay for this, and you just want to sort what's hot today, or what's hot or what's not. You know, you can go to CoinGecko or Crypto Potato or something like that, and they'll list. Or another good one's Crypto Bubble. All those are free sources of what the market's doing. And on the high side, pre-search at 47, we've looked at already. ONG, I've been trading this today, up 14%. This one's been happening in the last few weeks. Let's check it out. Let's get rid of these. Let's look at a 4 hour. Like, this wasn't really doing much. Just hanging around like $1.20, $1.40 for a long time. Let's go to the day chart. And then it just started pumping at the end of the year, early this year. Up 100%, and a big drop, gave almost all of it back, shot up again. And this is good stuff to trade. Let's go to the 5 minute, see if we have a trade now. Kind of squeezy. It's 3% between the Bollinger Bands, so not much movement. Seeing short-term support here at about 195. Again here, about 186. Those could be price alerts. On the 15 minute. SuperTrend looking good. Caught that buy. Be in trouble in this sell. Yeah, that one's not good. Yeah, he probably would have been stopped out somewhere on that one. All the buys look good though. And the sells do not. So I would probably, if I'm using SuperTrend, I'd go with just the buy triggers. And right click, SuperTrend, the buy is the first one that comes up. I've talked about doing the direction change, but after seeing what I'm seeing there, I just go with the buy on this one. And once per bar close. And 24, no, a 24-hour change. Sorry, that's what I called out. There you go.
If you're just using the buy, how do you know when to sell? Because I thought you were using when it changed from the green box to the red box as your exit point.
Nope.
No.
No, and here's why. For one, I do most of my trades are on leverage. If I get 7%, I'm out. I'm out a long time ago. So probably after 2 or 3%. I'm checking. I'm running some automated stuff. 3%'s the highest. I'm out. So.
So you've got a number. You're not using the other signal to switch.
Well, something I've talked about is looking at support and resistance to determine when to get out. And I like retraces a lot. And I've talked about that before in some detail. So on the 15-minute chart, if I took that buy, I'd probably look at, it's too small now. If I took this buy, obviously these haven't happened yet. So I would look at this area for for resistance. I want to get out at resistance. You know, it's 2.3%. You know, at 10x leverage, 23%, love it. So I'd be out there, most likely. Now, if you're trading spot and you want to get a bigger move, you want to get that 3% that AA promised you, you might want to go to, say, a 30-minute or a 1-hour chart and look for, you know, well, that's not going to help because it's going to change where the entry is. So I'm going to squish this a little bit. So this is the one we're talking about. And there's some, you know, resistance here. So that would have been potential option. I know this is really small, but I'm trying to get it on one screen. So this is the 2.3% I was talking about. So that's plan A. You know, plan B is this one here. It's a little higher back from March 21st. Now we're at 4.3%. That's a really good day trade. And then you got more, you know, resistance about here, 7.5%. You know, and if you took the last one, you hit that 10 hours later, you know, it retraces to that area and you have 7.5%. That's a great day trade. So does that make a little more sense, John?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out when to get out as well as when to get in. And
Yeah,
I was
that's
under the mistaken impression you were using the two signals against each other like that.
no, because now this is because, you know, if you're doing that, say you get 22% here, by the time that triggers, you've lost half of it. That's why.
Yeah.
But you
And
know,
that often
10%
happens
still a
if you
great day trade, but
more than 3%.
indeed.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It goes past and then
Yeah.
it comes back.
Yeah, here's a better example. Let's say you took this one, you know, you got maybe 3%. If you waited for the sell signal, that's not going to happen until here. Now you're at a loss. Yeah, so that's why I don't use these for exits. But
okay, thank you.
there is an indicator I used to use and talk about a lot called the chandelier exit. It's designed for that. I didn't think it worked very well. I liked it better for entries until I found out it repainted, which isn't necessarily a deal breaker, but it does mess up your back testing. So, all right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That's about all I had for Altcoin Alert today. I've got another Zoom coming up in about 15 minutes. So if there's nothing else, I'll head out. Are there any, but I do have a little time. So if you have any other questions or comments or want to look at something else, let me know. And if you don't, then I'll wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help support the channel. Have a great weekend. If you're here for Carbon, I'm not doing that Zoom today because the beta testers are having a Zoom in like 15 minutes. So see you guys on Monday or later today. Bye.